Alrighty. What is going on? Let's get this. All right, guys. Monday, December 8th. What's going on? Thank you for tapping back into the Coin Zone. You know, we're going live every day of the week here. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. We got a couple things we got to break down. All right, Mr. Jamie Dimon. JPMorgan, okay, has been in the limelight as of late. I want to take a look at something Grant Cardone said. We're going to take a look at some clips of Donald Trump addressing this. And we're also going to start here with Jamie Dimon publicly making a speech addressing the debanking. Okay, this is something we've covered on the channel for a long time here. We've interviewed individuals. Chief the Yorkie, what's going on? Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for the comment. Hope you're having a good Monday. Hope you had a great weekend, brother. So this is something that we've covered extensively here on the channel. I'm actually going to play a clip of one of our old videos. Okay, we're going to cover JPMorgan. We're going to cover the shady things that they've done and the hypocrisy. Okay, so Jamie Dimon, to me, this is what we're going to cover, guys. I'll play this clip in a second, but some comments beforehand. So Jamie Dimon went on Fox News. Okay, this is breaking news, guys. This isn't, an old clip. This is breaking. To me, this is a PR stunt. This is his team saying, Jamie, your name specifically is circulating online. You got big guys like Grant Cardone tweeting about you. The Trump administration, Trump and his entire family have been bashing you and JPMorgan publicly now for like a year plus. All right, a lot of bad negative press is happening for Jamie Dimon and JPMorgan right now. So to me, this is a complete PR stunt. This is just them trying to get ahead of this and him trying to spin it in a slightly different narrative. So let's go ahead and listen to what Jamie Dimon has to say about their efforts to debank individuals.
We do not debank people with religious or political affiliations. We do debank them. They have religious and political affiliation. We debank people who are Democrats. We debank people who are Republicans. We debank different religious folks. Never was that for that reason. And that's number one. Number two is I don't like debanking people. We live under very strict rules and regulations and requirements, and to protect the country, and we have to report things to the government. We're required to report things to the government. I can't even tell you when we do it because I'm not going to tell you that either. And so I want to change these rules. I actually applaud the Trump administration who's trying to say the debanking's bad and we should change the rules. Well, damn it, I've been asking to change the rules now for 15 years.
Give me a freaking break, guys. Chat, let me know in the comments. Does anybody believe this man? You know how many times we've covered Jamie Dimon specifically, who in the past would make public remarks about Bitcoin in such a negative light, watch the price dump a little bit, and then he would go buy offshore to get in at a lower price. Now it's out in the open. Now they're just buying and in support of this all in general. Let's go over to Grok a little bit. So Jamie Dimon denies politically motivated debanking of Trump media. This is 3 hours ago. Devin Nunes accused the bank of sharing Trump media's financial records with former special counsel Jack Smith via a subpoena, calling it a stunning abuse despite the company going public only in 2024. Jamie Dimon explained that JPMorgan debanks customers across the political spectrum for regulatory compliance, like anti-money laundering rules, and only shares data when legally required. Cap. Let's just go and play this clip again, too. This is a 10-minute drill. Small little channel here, but they are pretty cool, guys. And I just want to take a listen to some of the things that Trump says in this clip. You know, we've heard Eric Trump before. We've heard Donald Trump Jr. before, all make crazy remarks about exactly what happened to them specifically. Plenty of individuals. Again, guys, I could probably play multiple clips from our channel specifically. We interviewed Ralph Dillon of Digital BD, who was the CEO that we had on our own show, guys, who got debanked personally. Okay, so it's the Jamie Dimons, the JPMorgans of the world, but also other powers that be. They called it Operation Choke Point 2.0. This was happening under the Biden administration. Don't believe him at all, Chief the Yorkie. Totally agree with you, brother. Yeah, so as we know. So let's just listen to this quick clip of Trump addressing this in the past with JPMorgan.
This week, President Trump is preparing a new executive order dealing with debanking, specifically targeting the bad behavior of big banks like JPMorgan Chase.
And what do you think the banks have done? Well, they did discriminate. I had JPMorgan Chase. I had hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. I could see if they want to, if they want to do something bad because you don't have any money and you're defaulted and they took people out. But I'll give you me as an example. I had hundreds of millions. I had many accounts loaded up with cash. I was loaded up with cash, and they told me, "I'm sorry, sir. We can't have you. You have 20 days to get out."
The fact that in President Obama's administration, they gave new tools to the Department of Justice, to the CFPB and others to regulate and force banks to get rid of certain customers based on reputational risk. And that definition of reputational risk was incredibly broad, to include things like gun dealerships, to include things like conservative beliefs.
And things like cryptocurrency companies. Again, guys, Ralph Dillon had him on our own show. It's a perfect example of this. Countless individuals, just American entrepreneurs, have their bank account shut off for starting a crypto firm. That's crazy. Or another example, the Canadian government and even some northern states of the United States, when there was the truckers' protests in Canada, banks shut off just for participating in a protest against the government. Guys, that's absolutely insane. That sounds like stuff that happened during a different time. Now, I'm not going to say when or the part of the world, Germany, but we all know what I'm probably referencing, okay? Let's go over to Grant Cardone now. All right, I'm going to share this instead. If you guys don't know who Grant Cardone is a very popular figure, all right? I see his name all around here in Arizona. He has 10X, all right, Cardone Capital. This is a massive real estate mogul. Grant Cardone, I'm assuming, is a billionaire, I believe, at this point, who has now publicly been very, very, very public about synergistically recreating his entire business model to incorporate Bitcoin into it. So kudos to Grant Cardone, because he was one of those guys that was against it at first and did his research, now completely flipped, now buys Bitcoin a lot. So, fraud alert. Cancel your Chase credit card today. JPMorgan's fraud detection has major fraud detection issues. Trust me on this. The $4 trillion bank has serious flaws, vulnerabilities, and holes that assist in credit card fraud. To make matters worse, the $1 trillion behemoth forces customers to hire illegal in order to get refunded. Cancel all Chase cards today, or at least freeze those through the Christmas season until this is resolved. Stop what you're doing and call them now. JPM Chases cost me $2.3 million in fraud losses, plus millions more in legal fees, human resources, and wasted time. We have identified and arrested the fraudster Bobby Awad Vargas, charged with 19 felony counts, married to loser cannabis salesman and repeated business failure Joe Vargas. Even after leadership at Jamie Dimon levels had proof charges were in fact fraudulent and even substantiating the person committing the fraud has been arrested and charged, the bank still refuses to refund the charges. What are they hiding? What is that, $4 trillion? Who won't $4 trillion bank who won't protect a 40-year client over $2 million fraud claim. How many more of these exist? Well, a lot, Grant, and we appreciate you sharing your story. Now, I'm going to go share a clip of our own channel here, guys. All right, I'm going to play a clip of one of our videos here in the pregame where we kind of went over the hypocrisy, Operation Choke Point 2.0, compliance, and all this stuff. And yeah, we're going to play a clip of who exactly JPMorgan was protecting. And if you haven't heard this yet, this might be pretty eye-opening. So let's just take a listen. IDs are rolling out globally. We're one server breach away from total financial nudity, except, of course, when the elites need privacy. Exhibit A, the Jeffrey Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just a JPMorgan client, he was a super client. From 1998 to 2013, his accounts ballooned to over $200 million, and this generated millions in annual fees for the bank. In 2004 alone, he pocketed over $15 million brokering JPMorgan's buyout of Highbridge Capital. Over 15 years, they processed over $1 billion of transactions for him. I'm talking wires to private islands, shell companies in the Virgin Islands, and payment after payment to young women. Staff flagged suspicious behavior in 2000, calling them unusual and possibly fraudulent. Compliance documents then labeled Jeffrey Epstein high risk. Oh, and after his 2008 conviction for trafficking minors, JPMorgan kept him as a client for another 5 years. And only in 2013, when media attention became unavoidable,
did they cut ties. Epstein immediately moved to Deutsche Bank, which later paid $75 million to settle similar charges. And in June of 2023, JPMorgan settles a class action from 200 Epstein victims for $290 million. No admission of guilt, but a federal judge greenlights it, slamming the bank for ignoring warnings and enabling trafficking. September 2023, another $75 million to the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein's pedo island had operated. In the total bill, over $365 million plus immeasurable reputational damage. So while JPMorgan sues crypto companies for risk, just remember that they shielded a literal child sex trafficker.
Okay. So that was a bit crazy, huh? Hit the applause button. Let's put the music. Yes, guys, but this is exactly, man, look at this guy's face. This is who we're dealing with, guys, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Jamie Dimon and JPMorgan. Okay, now why do we love talking about blockchain, crypto, DeFi, etc.? Well, it's because DeFi kind of takes power away from these individuals and puts it back in our hands. That is one of the biggest points, right? This is why so many individuals love blockchain technology. A guy like Jamie Dimon in the past, quote unquote, said, and this was Jamie Dimon, you'll never have a money system that's not controlled by a central authority. Well, you were wrong, big guy. And it's funny because not only was he wrong, but again, you have guys like last week. Okay, Larry Fink was on a stage with Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. And kudos to Coinbase because they are now basically... Okay, what I was going to get to is Brian Armstrong made this statement while sitting with Larry Fink, who's more influential and whose institution has more money than JP Dimon does. JPMorgan, excuse me. And what did they say on that stage? If these banks are not going to follow suit with this, they're going to be left behind. So we're talking about Larry Fink and Brian Armstrong sitting on a stage together. I don't know if you guys saw that last week. Maybe I can pull up the images on X. To be honest, I thought Larry Fink was a taller guy. See if we can find that image. But honestly, kind of wild to see. All right, here's a clip. Okay, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says he was wrong about Bitcoin, speaking this week at the New York Times Deal Book Summit. This was last week, December 5th. So just on Friday, guys. Summit, in a brilliant conversation with Brian Armstrong, Fink openly admitted that his previous views on Bitcoin have fundamentally changed and that his shift is both public and significant. Quote unquote, this is a very glaring public example of a big shift in my opinions. Let's take a listen. Well, you know, I didn't play this clip last week. I think it's worth taking a listen. Here is that clip. I'm going to share this tab and said, guys, I thought that Larry Fink was a tall guy. Look at this guy. The same height as Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong maybe an inch taller. One of our favorite bald guys in crypto, okay? Brian Armstrong, shiny head. Larry Fink, I thought was a bigger dude. Pause. Okay. Well, let's just go back from this image here. I'm going to play one of these clips of him speaking on stage because this is pretty crazy, guys. We're talking about BlackRock, Larry Fink, the creator of Aladdin, a trading system. All right. Larry Fink, the guy who publicly did not like Bitcoin for a long time, who we started covering in 2023, completely flipped. Now the institution, the largest pension fund, largest hedge fund in the entire world, in BlackRock, is now leading the way. And their biggest source of revenue when it comes to ETFs was their IBIT Bitcoin ETF. Let me say that again, guys. The company's biggest source of revenue when it came to their ETF offerings, out of any stock, out of anything, was Bitcoin. That is a major shift in business model. And Larry Fink is not quiet about it. And it's great to see, to be honest. So let's listen to this clip of Larry Fink just kind of addressing his stance shift.
Called crypto an index for money laundering. BlackRock
and thieves.
And thieves.
Yes.
Money laundering and thieves.
Right.
You now have the biggest Bitcoin ETF. So What happened here?
I have very strong views, but that doesn't mean I'm not wrong. By having strong views, you have to test yourself and ask yourself. And in my role, I see thousands of clients a year. I have governmental leaders, and we have these conversations. And my thought process always evolves. And this is a very glaring public example of a big shift in my opinion.
Yeah. So kudos to Larry for that, guys. I'd like to see, JPMorgan, right? Jamie Dimon, just to get back to it. What did he say? Just to address the fact that they were buying, right? He says, yeah, if my clients want it, I'll give it to them. Me personally, though, I still don't believe in it. That's what bro says. So it is what it is. If you're the leader of a bank, right? The difference isn't between these two men. Larry Fink is smart because he realizes he can offer these to his clients and make a lot of money. JPMorgan, same thing, but they're also threatened by the technology. It's slightly different. So it's funny to see on this exact stage, Brian Armstrong made a comment probably shortly after Larry Fink made this comment and had his remarks that if these banks don't join, they will get left behind. So it's funny to see JPMorgan and Jamie Dimon make these remarks because it's like the horse and the buggy, guys. Right? You see a freaking horse and like, I'm not getting in that damn thing. Who cares? I guess some people, if they want to use the buggy, cool, good for them. I got my horse. All right, well, fast forward 50 years later. Is anyone freaking using horses? No. Same thing with Uber and taxis. Yes, taxis still exist. But at first, do you think taxis love the idea of Uber? No. Do you think right now Uber drivers like the concept of Waymo? Not really. I mean, I had a conversation recently where someone said it eats into their business, in large part. So a threatening technology that's threatening your business model, you're not going to be welcome to it at first. That's just how it goes. But just to get back to it, guys, the insanity of this clip, to me, just to reiterate, all right, this is Crypto with Paul, this is my own 2 cents. How I think this is, why I think this statement was made by Jamie Dimon is they're trying to get out ahead of it. It's a PR stunt. He had a team come to him, look, my guy, your name is circulating on X, on the news even. It's not looking good. People are having big accusations about you. Not just anybody, the president of the United States and his entire family, real estate moguls like Grant Cardone, and more, guys, and channels like us. I'm probably not the only one out here covering this. And we have seen a plethora of individuals cover this for a long time. Operation Choke Point 2.0. Everything that I just played in our clip about the Epstein stuff, insanity. Insanity, guys. If you want to go back and listen to this full video of us on the Coin Zone here, this was our privacy coin video, which is relevant because I believe the midnight release is today on Cardano. Let's go back. I believe the midnight launch is today, which if you have been participating in midnight, pretty awesome. I was able to mine a little bit, nothing crazy, but this is the insanity of this too, guys. Look at all of these exchanges that Midnight is getting onto. If you're an ADA holder, let's just address this real quick. Just going to privacy. If you're an ADA holder, you can look at this in 2 different ways. Now, I'm seeing some people kind of be, if you guys want to make fun of me in the comments about my glasses, call me 4 eyes, whatever, go for it. I'm open to it. Now, I've seen a lot of comments of some salty Cardano holders saying, what the heck? All these exchange listings, you couldn't do that for any other Cardano native tokens, any other CNTs. Like, people are thinking Charles is spending all his energy on Midnight, leaving Cardano in the dust and everything else. He doesn't care about it. I don't think people realize this is a CNT. This is a native token. This is going to boost the ecosystem in general for ADA. Guys, I don't think people realize how big this is, though. I didn't realize until I just continued to dive into this. This is the first, I believe, the first Cardano native token that will be listed on Binance. Binance, guys. The biggest global exchange in the world, right off the bat. The Midnight Foundation, Charles Emergo, all working hand in hand. Not only did they get Binance listing, guys. That's huge. Binance. Let's see what else. Bybit. KuCoin. So many. Binance, guys. Just to say it again, that is huge. HTX. OKX. When will we see Coinbase? Maybe soon. Bitpanda. Gate. MEXC. Look at all these exchanges, guys. Right off the bat. Like right at launch. This is crazy. Yeah, so 5 days. Mark your calendars and set reminders to ensure you are ready to manage your night allocation. If you claim during Glacier Drop or Scavenger Mine, this is your heads up. You must redeem to receive your night. So that will be taking place. Yeah, guys. That's what's going on. Shout out to Jamie Dimon, JPMorgan, for whoever his PR team is. I think they're doing a great job. They're smart for trying to get out ahead of this because bro's name has been circulating in a bad light. Does anybody believe him, though? Do we want to play that clip again? Chief the Yorkie said we don't believe him. Like, it is brilliant for him to say, I agree with the Trump administration. Shut the hell up, brother. You were the guy that they're talking about. Oh, I agree with them. Shut up, man. It's silly. Well, I agree with what. Let's just listen one more time to the clip. All right. Of Jamie Dimon trying to get out ahead of this and discussing the debanking up front. This is a crazy clip. Let's listen again.
We do not bank people, debank people with religious or political affiliations. We do debank them. They have religious and political affiliation. We debank people who are Democrats. We debank people who are Republicans. We debank different religious folks. Never was that for that reason. And that's number one. Number two is I don't like debanking people. We live under very strict rules and regulations and requirements. And to protect the country, and we have to report things to the government. We're required to report things to the government. I can't even tell you when we do it, because I'm not going to tell you that either. And so I want to change these rules. I actually applaud the Trump administration, who's trying to say the debanking's bad and we should change the rules. Well, damn it, I've been asking to change the rules now for 15 years.
Well, damn it. Shut up. Oh, geez. Chat, let me know in the comments. Don't blame him at all. We got the thumbs up. Karen, thanks for tapping in. Don't believe him at all. Chief, yeah. Pulsing is the answer. They can't turn it off. Pookie, what's good? Thanks for tapping in, brother. Or sister. I don't even know. I'm sorry. Thank you for just joining in general. And that's true. And that leads me into a good segue, you know, just to kind of close it out here, guys. Jamie Dimon has no authority to shut off anybody's account on a DeFi protocol. That's the beauty of blockchain, guys. If you build a blockchain correctly, nobody can touch anything or confiscate anything from you. Look at this guy. Deer in the headlights. Jamie Dimon, worried about his own public reputation after not worrying about the countless of young women's reputations that were destroyed by Jeffrey Epstein. So, I don't really feel bad for this guy. And it is what it is, guys. If you want to help us get more subscribers than Jamie Dimon does, subscribe to this channel here. We have a goal towards the end of the year, guys. We're trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. So help us out. Make sure to sub to the channel. If you guys felt like you got value, if you like this video, just make sure to like this video. Share it out with your friends, your mom, your dad, your dogs. Appreciate all you guys for tapping in. That's the point, guys. That's why we like talking about DeFi here, blockchain technology. The Jamie Dimons, the JPMorgans of the world won't have authority to what you can do personally in a DeFi protocol. I have, on Cardano, I have a Giro wallet that's tied to my desktop. Nobody can do anything about that. That's it. Only me. And that's the beauty in this. All right? And that's why things like Ethereum, like Cardano, I'm going to say Solana too, these layer ones, have value. Now, I'm not a fan of Solana. Ethereum has issues. These protocols still get hacked. There's still bugs. There's still rugs. Again, that's why I'm just a big fan of ADA, guys. You don't see any of that on ADA. It was actually built with intention, built properly. All right? So there's more outside of ADA though, guys. All right. We have the comment from Pookie, Pulse Chain, whatever you guys are into. Just make sure you're doing your research. Make sure you understand exactly what you're into, what you're getting yourself into. That's basically it. Stick around for another live later today. I already got one teed up. I want to discuss Kevin O'Leary. All right, Mr. Wonderful. So stick around for that. There's some remarks and comments that he made over the past weekend that I thought were a bit hypocritical and a bit confusing. Now we're going to take a look, so stay tuned. All right, stay tuned for that. I don't want to give it away what the subject is, but Mr. Wonderful, I did want to kind of discuss his comments this past week. You know, Mr. Wonderful is a man who has spoken very highly about Solana in the past, has spoken at the Bitcoin conference, has even gone as far to say that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will be a new sector of the S&P. That was a couple years ago, I believe. Might have even been 2022 Bitcoin conference. I think it was 2023, however. I think it was when it was in Miami. But yeah, guys, stick around for Mr. Wonderful. I think he's a very smart man. He's a smart investor. I like listening to his remarks, but sharks are sharks at the end of the day, guys. All right, just because I like him doesn't mean he's not a shark. This guy's going to look out for his own pockets. So, yeah, we're going to take a closer look at that. But if you guys liked this video, like I said, just make sure to give us a thumbs up and sub to the channel. I'll be back a little bit later, so stick around, guys. I appreciate you for tapping in. Once again, this is the Coin Zone. I'm Crypto with Paul. It is Monday, December 8th. Chief the Yorkie. I'll see you again in a bit. Pookie, appreciate you for tapping in. Make sure to hit that sub button. I'll see you guys soon.